Welcome back, Washed Up Walkons fans, episode 196 of the podcast. And I have to open this one up with a little apology for being a garbage podcast. 196 was meant to be a lot cooler than it was. We were in the midst of a conversation with strength conditioning mind that we all really have a lot of respect for. Cool guy in the strength conditioning industry, and the whole podcast just shit out on us for whatever reason. Like I said, we're garbage. We understand that and we apologize for it. So 196 is taking a little turn. Just going to be me and Kluve today. I think we're going to have some cool content, just some good stuff to talk about in the Hawks world. But I mean, sorry for being garbage, like I said. So Kluve, what do you got?
Yeah, we are. It's funny you mention that because I feel like on my end, we aren't garbage. I have a brand new boom arm holding up my brand new microphone. I'm listening to the playback and listening to you in my brand new headphones. I upgraded everything on my end because it was just time. And so I feel pretty
You deserve
legit.
it, man. You run the whole show. So if anybody needs new shit, it's you.
And it feels good. And I think, we got it locked in here. There might be, I want the show to know, because I think I mentioned this in the episode that you just talked about that we shit the bed on. Talk about that in a second. That the levels of this podcast, I am fully aware. Okay. This is to everybody on Twitter. I am fully aware that Drake and Kevin do not sound as good as I do. Not content wise, just straight sound quality wise. Okay. I am using, especially now, I'm using a $250 microphone. Drake had a computer. We had
to be
him.
Honest, listen. So here's the situation with me. I'm being a little bit lazy. I could still do it on a laptop with the microphone that I have. I just really like how nice it sounds in my earphones. Mm-hmm. And I thought that the Beats sound quality was better talking or like on your end than I guess it is. So I can go back to the laptop with the microphone. Yeah. I'll do that for the people.
And see, so me listening to you right now, which I get the full playback of everything, it doesn't sound bad to me. It doesn't sound that bad to me. It doesn't sound as bad as when, like, and we've done this before, where you or Kevin just call in from your phone, right? And that is obviously the worst sound quality. Unfortunately, for Kevin, that's often the case if he's on the podcast. Most recently, he's actually been in the office, so that's been a little bit better. He uses a different microphone that picks up a lot of the noise in the room, but the inconsistency of microphones, and then not only that, but the inconsistency of podcast to podcast. If Kevin's on the phone, now he's in his office. Drake has been pretty consistent recently. The volume levels, how close he sits to his microphone, it's tough to get that all right. And so I promise I'm trying to get better and equal all that out and do it in the post processing. But I'm not some wizard, like, and I have other shit to do. So again, all the way back to episode 1, this is a walk-on podcast, right? We didn't get the scholarship to broadcast school here. And so that's where we're at. As far as the real episode 196, we're going to have him back on. High school strength conditioning coach, very overqualified for his position, knows a lot. And I really want to delve into high school strength conditioning training for 12, basically middle school to high school athletes, because we have a ton of high school athletes and college athletes that go to smaller schools that don't have big strength and conditioning programs like Iowa does. We have a ton of those people and their parents, to be quite honest. A ton of you listening have kids that are going to be in middle school, going to be in high school. They want to play sports. They want to play football. They want to gain weight. They want to know what they should be eating. And this guy has 15 plus years of every day of his life. He's trying to figure out how to get high school and middle school athletes to perform at their best. So I think that's going to be an incredible episode. Unfortunately, when we got on to record that, we record this on the 8th of March, Monday. We tried to record that yesterday on Sunday. Drake's internet first was being shit. So he got off.
And then I got locked out of my own podcast.
Right.
I got booted out. I got completely locked out of the building. It said the host kicked me and I was no longer allowed on the podcast. At which point I just took a lap.
Yeah, I sent you to timeout basically. And what really happened was internet was shit, literally froze up on my screen and started to make my screen get wonky. So Drake left, but when he left, his image was still up there. And he's rocking the mustache, the mullet combo. To be honest, he's creating a new look that's probably never been done before. And if you watch the YouTube version, you can see that it's pretty legendary. He looks like he would be running in race 3 at Prairie Meadows on a Saturday night. You're muted.
Do I look like I could be of the Theo Von lineage?
I think so. I think a cousin, like a cousin that is a little more rough around the edges. Even though
more rough than Theo?
Well, Theo is rough, but now that he's all Hollywood, he's all cleaned up. He's got the good equipment, the big studio.
Yeah, but listen, man, he's also moved to Nashville.
It's true.
And he also is still real fucking deep South Louisiana redneck.
He's Louisiana.
If I'm rougher than Theo, then I'm rougher than I thought I was.
Yeah. He basically is Mardi Gras. Theo is Mardi Gras personified. And so speaking of Nashville, if you guys out there follow Barstool or Bussin with the Boys, got a couple messages about this. I fully understand that TJ Hawkinson made a podcast appearance that was not us before us.
It's okay. He's fully allowed to do so, especially because they have a full setup where you can go in and you can kick it with the boys. And it's a really fun situation. I'd much rather be on the bus than on a Zoom call, man.
Oh, 100%. I would, if I got the opportunity to go on Bussin with the Boys, I would honestly sacrifice this podcast entirely.
Listen, pal, if one of us could ever make Taylor Lewan money, we could have Bussin with the Boys, because we could afford to just build a studio wherever we want. But
I know
at this point, we're all broke bitch ass hoes. So
that would be the goal. That would be the goal, if we could get a studio built out like in your garage or something, or like build, get our own bus out in Arizona, and then have enough money for me to fly out every week real quick and record episodes. That would be elite. And as always, we've done this show for going on 2.5 years now, and we've done like 2 episodes in person. And it would just be so much better if it was in person. Regardless, TJ is going to come on the show. TJ Hawkinson, he's a first-round pick. He gets to do what he wants. He's training. He's living the life. George is building his own goddamn.
It's built, bro. Day one was May 8th. Day one in the barn.
Well, March 8th.
March 8th. Did I say May 8th? That's CTE, bro.
Yeah. He's got it. If none of you follow, if you guys don't follow George Kittle on, what part of his life isn't good?
Well, that's what you work towards, isn't it? That was literally everybody's dream. As you start as a kid, like everybody listening to this podcast who has that dream, go chase it. Because George, when he was 22 years old, probably had a 21 or 22. He probably had a 3% chance of being where he's at. He was on Iowa roster on scholarship, and he probably had a 3% chance.
Maybe.
That shows you that all you have to do is grind your ass off and you can achieve your goals. Like, you have to get a little bit lucky, and you have to have some physical abilities. Like you have to be blessed a little bit. Kluver worked hard. He didn't have it.
Didn't have it.
I worked hard, but at the end, physically, I just didn't have it.
Body gave out.
So you have to be a little bit lucky, but work your fucking ass off, and you can be George Kittle. Like, he didn't have a chance, and now he is who he is.
In some form or fashion, you could be George. And to be honest, I just felt a little, when I brought my arms back there, I just felt a little Drake Kulik pec grab. Ooh, did the bench today. I hit bench today. We had 5x5 at 215, nice and controlled. What do you think he could rep out on the 225 right now?
I don't know. So here's what I do. I take 2 resistance bands and I twist them behind my back and I pick up 50-pound dumbbells and I just do eccentric bench until I can't do it anymore. And I just do sets and sets of that. So I really have no idea what my bench max is, but I know that I'm still one of the strongest dudes in the gym every day. So I feel good about that, but I truly have no idea.
Yeah. I hit bench today and, for any of you training out there, I don't know if, especially for anybody training in their garage gym, Drake wouldn't know this, but that seasonal depression, that shit is real. And you don't even realize it.
You're not getting enough vitamin D, man. You're inside and you're not getting vitamin D, and most people aren't supplementing their diet.
I do supplement vitamin D, and I don't feel, it's not like I'm actually depressed on a daily basis, but you don't realize how much of a mood booster it can be until it's 66 degrees, sunny. There's warmth from that sun. Take a little warm-up jog around the block here in the old Walkie, and you realize, wow, life is good. Man, you're happy. It's incredible. Anyway, back to that. George Kittle living the life. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna make a little bit of a weather joke and say, like, in Arizona we struggle with the same thing because in the mornings when it's chilly, the mats are cold and your feet get cold at practice. So yeah, tough. It's a real thing, man.
Yeah,
gotta brave the weather.
Yeah. George is living the life. TJ is on his way to living the life. When you're a first round draft pick,
Pro Bowler,
dude, Pro Bowler, and they've got a ton of money and they can buy whatever they want and live however they want and eat the best food and train the best in their own facilities. And we will mark it down. These guys who don't have all that money and fame and talent and ability, we will get them on the podcast in the next 3 months, both of them. And TJ will be an awesome episode. George is always an awesome episode. We wanted to get Ike on. Ike's busy as hell this month. He's actually having LASIK. I don't know if I can disclose that. He's having LASIK surgery on Wednesday, and then he's busy. We're going to try and get another guy on soon.
Also is about to have a second child.
Oh, yeah. By the way, he's a dad. Lots of shit going on. Some have said, though, that the Washed Up Walkons are hitting their stride. It's something that I've seen. There's rumors.
That's what people are saying?
There's rumors going around that the Washed Up Walkons are hitting their stride with the guests we've had. I mean, we've rattled off Cole Fisher, Brandon Bishop, John Kenny, Coach Polasek. The Coach Polasek reviews are in. I mean, we're 8 hours into the episode being released, and people are. I'm not going to say it because I'm trying to make this podcast more PG because I'm maturing and eventually I'm going to have children. All right. And I'm going to want them to talk a certain way, but people are really enjoying. Some would say to a sexual level, the podcast that released today with Coach Polasek. And we didn't do anything. Coach Polasek just brings the energy, and that's the way he is.
Hey, make sure when you're, just a side note, make sure when you're posting this episode that you say, if you want to listen to 20 minutes of stupidity, that's great. Otherwise, fast forward.
Continue. Yeah, no, we will. This is just something we haven't done in a while. Oh, but yeah, we had John Kenny, Brandon Bishop, Cole Fish, Antoine Nelson, the Super Bowl champ, Dom Daff, Dallas Jacobus, Coach Polasek. Some would say that we're hitting our stride. So hopefully we don't mess that up. And we're going to continue to try and get the best of the best. Today, you don't get the best of the best. You get the B team. All right. And what that means is your boys are going to talk about the Big Ten champions in the wrestling world.
Did you watch the finals?
That is your Iowa Hawkeyes. Yes, I did. Yes,
dude,
I did.
The finals were insane.
We're going to talk about it. The Hawks come away out of the Big Ten championship with 4 individual Big Ten champions, 2 second place. I believe other than at 149 where Murin had a tough weekend, we did not place outside of 4th in any other weight class. Brands took 4th. Cassiope took 3rd. Let me pull this up. Cassiope took 3rd. Warner took 3rd. Everybody else took 2nd or 1st. Our champions are, of course, Spencer Lee. DeSanto got 2nd. Ironman takes 1st. And then we have the Bull, Alex Marinelli, and Kemmer.
So have you watched the Big Ten special on Spencer Lee?
No, I haven't.
So I just watched it today on YouTube. I don't know when it was released. Maybe I'm like super late on this. But if just, again, for all athletes out there, go listen to what Spencer Lee's mind is made of. That's what makes him great. Like, if you look at him physically and see and hear some of the things that he's had to fight through physically, where his body, he's not even the most physically imposing at his weight class, if just by eyes. Like, he doesn't look the most ripped.
No,
he has that big knee brace because he's compromised, but the kid's mind is made out of lead and steel and titanium and diamonds.
Yeah.
And he won't let you beat him. And like, his mindset makes him fucking so great.
Well, here's the exciting thing. And it's not exciting that his time as an Iowa Hawkeye is starting to wind down. Garza, we're going to get to basketball. This is basically, and this is where I'll tell you to skip to in the podcast. If, see, how long have we been recording? I'll have to check. This is where we'll talk. We're going to talk Big Ten Wrestling Championship recap, Big Ten Basketball Championship. All of those seniors, Bohannon, Garza, all of them, Lee, the other wrestlers, they're all about to retire, or not retire. Some of them are going to play for a long time or wrestle for a long time. They're all about to be done with Iowa, right? And that means that the Walkons, you're going to have them on the podcast, all right? We're going to get Spencer Lee on the podcast. We're going to talk with him about the mind of his. One thing I noticed in the post-match interviews, wrestlers are weird. Everybody knows that. And it seems as like the better they get, the more savage they are, is like the more weird they are. Iowa wrestlers and Tom Brands, they give good, like, funny answers a lot of times. But there's a lot of those wrestlers who win, or they like do a post-match interview and they suck on the mic. They
don't want to say anything. They're so humble and they don't care about the spotlight, and all they care about is wrestling. Like, the Bull walked out in a shirt that said faith, family, and wrestling. What else is there? He doesn't care about interviews. He just wants to go and beat the shit out of you and win titles and be great.
I know. I just want one of them to be great and be that way, and also come out like Conor McGregor.
I think DeSanto's that guy. I think DeSanto's the one that has the real edgy personality, chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, Roman Bravo Young is one of the best talents that you see in wrestling in a long time. Like, he's kind of like a generational talent type of wrestler. And DeSanto and him have had some good battles. So I don't know. We'll see what can happen in the NCAAs. But I think DeSanto's that guy that would talk a little bit of shit.
I love it. Because when you get that savage mixed with the savage on the mic, then you get situations like Conor McGregor, where it's just like, oh my God, anytime the camera's on this guy, it's just pure comedy. Some of the other ones are like, yeah, I just like to wrestle and just love it. And they're like, I just want to get off the mat. It's as guys who now talk to the mic, I just want a little bit more. In that Roman Bravo Young matchup versus DeSanto in the championship, 5-2, DeSanto drops that match. NCAAs will be interesting. That's a 133 final. Back up to Spencer. I didn't catch Spencer's right away. I've watched all of them back. You and Kevin thought that Spencer limped off the mat a little bit and might have hurt his knee, like tweaked it up. You're muted.
I don't want to be the guy that starts the rumor. All I know is that Spencer got up off winning with ease. His first step didn't look comfortable. His face, like, just, I don't know, it just didn't look right. And then kind of like hobbling off the mat a little bit, he definitely said, like, something knee to the coach. Like the camera caught it flush.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know by his wrestling. I mean, he just, I don't understand. I don't understand. And I've seen other people who do understand wrestling and really know the sport say this. I mean, you can see it and hear people say it, how he's special. He's just one of the best that there ever has been. But I cannot comprehend how good he is at wrestling. He's just unbelievable. He goes out there and it's just a race to how fast he can finish the match. It's stupid.
Yeah. And like I now do some wrestling practices with some ex-collegiate wrestlers, which is really cool because you get to see exactly what makes them special. And it's like the best ones, Spencer's way far out there. Mm-hmm. But the guys who have been good at wrestling, their pace it's unbelievable. It's like you're getting attacked by an attack dog. They truly feel like attack dogs when they're on top of you.
That is Spencer Lee. If he was an animal, he is the attack dog, the German Shepherd that you see attacking those people that run in the fat suits. That's Spencer. I mean, it's unbelievable. 141, Jaden Ironman, the transfer from, I don't even know where he transferred in from. Missouri? Yeah. He wins a Big Ten championship over number 2 Nick Lee from Penn State. 6'5", won it with a riding time point, and cool to see him transfer in and just, hey, step right in, Big Ten champ. 149 is again where Max Mirren had a tough weekend. Didn't place. Bounce back. And that's the thing. You get one of these guys who gets real disappointed in an outcome. I would not want to wrestle Max Mirren in the NCAA championships.
Nope.
I wouldn't want to do it. So 157, the bull, Caleb Young drops to number 1 Northwestern guy, but then Alex Marinelli, the bull, he takes
that Northwestern guy though.
He's good.
Yo, yeah, he's unbelievable. Like physically, how is it possible that he weighs 157?
I don't know.
That kid is superhuman strong.
Ryan Deacon from Northwestern, very, very good. Really, really good. Caleb Young, though, I mean, strong second place finish. Again, up until this point, we have nobody below second place. Marinelli, the bull, wins 3-2 over Ethan Smith of Ohio State at 165, Big Ten champion. Kemmer wins at 174, 7-2 over Starachi. Starachi is kind of fun to watch too from Penn State. And then below that, Nelson Brands, 4th place. And I keep thinking about how he didn't wrestle until high school. Like I don't think he wrestled until high school or something like that. Like he wasn't going to be a wrestler. He was going to be something else. And then
I didn't know that. I figured with the last name Brands, you're destined.
Right. He takes 4th at 184 and Warner takes 3rd at Warner and Cassiope both take 3rd, and Iowa runs away with the Big Ten championship team title, 159.5 to Penn State's 124. Repeat Big Ten champions. And now the Hawks get to go after what was cut short last year, an NCAA title. And I don't see anyone taking it from them. As long as they're healthy, it's theirs to lose. And I can't wait to be national champions. And it's nothing that I did or that we did, but we get to bask in the glory of the Iowa Hawkeye wrestling team. It's been super fun to watch. That being said, there's another Big Ten tournament, Big Ten championship on the line here that is also very potentially could be won by the Hawkeyes as much as anybody else. Michigan has proved that they're a really, really good team. Illinois is a great team. Ohio State's good. Purdue is good. That Big Ten tournament.
Good. It's the Big Ten, man. It's a battle of like 8 of the top 25 teams.
I follow John Miller, and he does a lot of, for those of you that listen and also listen to John Miller's podcast, now with Mark Morehouse back in the game, those two have teamed up. They do a lot with, I know John Miller is a freak about the numbers. He loves the stats and like the Ken Palm numbers and the adjusted efficiency stuff. The Big Ten, I believe, with some metric, is the best it's ever been front to back in like ever since basketball was created or something like that.
You're saying that this Big Ten conference is the single best conference in the history of college basketball?
In the history of the Big Ten. I don't know how I don't know how it compares. It would be interesting.
The ACC, I mean, it would be tough to compare with the ACC.
On a good year, yeah. Like, you know, when Duke and Carolina and all of them are, yeah. I don't know where it ranks against other conferences, but I'm pretty sure this is the best Big Ten conference has ever been. Absolute meat grinder. And so, and you know what's weird is this Big Ten tournament, and I'll pull up the seating here. And I told Drake before we started this podcast, last time I pulled up a bracket, I got absolutely shredded
and it was hilarious.
Like a mini wheat. And this is on the big10.org website. 2021 Big Ten men's basketball tournament field tournament bracket announced. Michigan with the 1 seed, Illinois gets the 2 seed, Iowa gets the 3 seed, Purdue with the 4 seed. Everybody else fills in after that. There isn't a lot. I was listening to some other talking heads today. A lot of people seem to think that the only way that Iowa gets a 2 seed gets a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament is if they win the Big Ten tournament, and it's not even guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that they get that spot. Illinois is currently, I believe it's Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, and then Illinois with that 4th 1 seed in the tourney. Going to be tough to.
They're missing their best or second best player.
I know, and there's just not a lot on the line here for Iowa in the Big Ten tournament. They're not going to lose very much either. If they lose to, say, you know, Nebraska, Penn State play Wisconsin, and then the winner, say Penn State wins that game, Penn State, Wisconsin then play Iowa. So Wisconsin, Iowa rematch. If they lose to Wisconsin or they beat Wisconsin and they lose to Illinois or Rutgers in the next round, they're not dropping out of the top 8. And it would be awesome for the men's wrestling team and basketball teams to be Big Ten champions. I think what I'm more concerned about is let's get Wheezy healthy, because that's scary. We don't want our second best player going down. Some would argue maybe the first best player. Since we've had that last podcast where we talked about, does Garza have to score 28-30? He scored less points. Wheezy's been on a fucking tear.
Well, dude, when you're shooting over 50% from 3-point land, that is unheard of.
And I don't want to give you props at all, but when he came into Iowa, you also said that he was going to be an absolute murderer. And I just was okay. And he's a killer.
Listen, dude, I watched him outscore a basketball team 20-8 in a quarter by himself. He was the first 20 points scored. It was Joe Wieskamp versus, and it was 20-8. Dude, like, I knew the kid was special, and he's showing it.
He's incredible.
Shout out to Dweezy, man. Get healthy.
His ankle gets better. Garza's locked in. Bohannon locks in. You know, he's chasing that 3-point record. He's been doing well. He scored all of his points against Wisconsin in the second half. It sucks that Nunji's out, but that Keegan Murray is an absolute savage, dude.
Dude, Keegan Murray should be like up for freshman of the year. I don't know, or like 6th man of the year, some award. This kid is like, he has to have double-digit rebounds in so many games.
He's incredible. He's all over the place. He really knows. He's really good with his body. For a young kid, very good with his body. Feels caught up functionally. And then you have Toussaint, who's played really well the last couple of games. Pat McCaff, who provides this really weird, like, Pat McCaff is good, dude, in his own weird way.
Yeah, he's 6'8", and he's not afraid to go get his shot, because like his dad's the coach. What's he gonna do? Shoot out by his dad? He's been shoot out by his dad his whole life. Like, yes. He's gonna go get his shot, and I like the kid's confidence. He's a really good player.
Yeah. Can you imagine McCaffrey like chewing out Pat when he was like 4 years old for like dropping a box of Cheez-Its? Just red-faced in the kitchen. Oh, that'd be incredible. He will dunk on you too. Like he wants the rim and nothing else. There's a inappropriate joke somewhere in there as well. I would love to see this team go far. They can go far. Here's what worries me. If we have a bad shooting day, we're very limited. Garza can do well, right? But if we have a bad shooting day, it's easier for them to just, hey, okay, they're not shooting well, we'll back off. A little easier to guard Garza inside. He's still going to get his, but we rely so heavily on our offense. Granted, defense has improved significantly since the beginning of the year. I'm worried that if we have a bad day, we're not as all-around complete as another team, as the other best teams in the country, to still pull out a win against even just average teams. Because then a team gets hot on we're an average defensive team. I think we're like 60th in defense, right in the middle somewhere. Maybe that's above average a little bit. I'm worried that Iowa becomes that big seed that gets upset in like the second round. But if we shoot well and we play well, we should blow teams out because we're arguably the best offensive team in the country. My expectations, because the tournament is so wonky, if they make the Elite Eight, I'm super happy. If we play somebody in the Sweet 16 and things just don't go our way, I still don't think I'll be pissed. That being said, I still think that the ceiling is still big, tournament champions. We can still win the whole damn thing, but it's going to take a lot. 6 games in a row of just things clicking. What are your thoughts?
Let it be known that if we lose in the Sweet 16, I will throw things through walls.
I think a lot of people will, and it's so hard to get through this. Do you know how hard we don't?
I do. No, I don't understand, but like from a theoretical perspective, I'm also kind of a numbers guy.
Yeah.
I understand probabilities,
right,
and like how hard it is, and
the magic of the tournament. You know, man,
but
it's
we
be
have magic. Magic is like this team's middle name.
You're right,
because that's kind of what we do. Like Luka's kind of magic if you think about what he does. He shoots it over 40% from 3-point.
Yeah,
his efficiency inside is incredible. He's been one of the nation's leading scorers for 2 years in a row with what his dad calls lackluster athleticism. His own father came on our podcast and said his son is lackluster athlete who just goes and gets it done.
He could move better.
So that's kind of magical in its own. And then the way that this team came together with 4 kids who can shoot the lights out of the gym, also kind of magical, dude.
I agree. Let's not forget to talk about Garza's jersey is going to hang in the rafters forever. One of the
legend, dude.
Legend.
Can you imagine on your senior day, they say, dude, you're the biggest legend to ever wear this jersey, and nobody will ever wear it again.
Yeah, no, I definitely am never going to be in that spot ever in anything I do in my life. To watch the video, and it sucks. It sucks so bad that people weren't able to be there. That's
trash. That's garbage.
It sucks that we weren't able to go and watch games this season, just fans in general. But you can get over those games. But the moments like that, where senior day, and then after the game, Garza's happy, he's jolly, he's bouncing around, and McCaffrey pulls him aside and goes, "Hey, by the way, they're gonna retire your jersey. Barta's gonna announce it right now." And Garza just starts to cry. Dude, at 26 years old, I'm getting soft as baby shit. And I will cry for Luka Garza. I mean, it gets me a little bit emotional right now because of how hard that kid grinds every single game. Gives up his face, his nose, his eyes, just gets elbowed all over the place. And they pull him off the court and say, "Hey, the hooks are in the ceiling. Take your jersey off. We need it because we're hanging the bitch." Oh my God.
It'd be so legendary, dude. Oh, that moment would be so legendary.
He deserves it so much, and it's been incredible to watch him. I just remember the first time I ever saw him at the 2017 student athlete kickoff. It's probably the only time I saw him in person because I didn't get out and I didn't have classes with him or anything. And I just saw him and I was like, That guy is big as hell. Who is this? And now 4 years later, his jersey is going to be hanging in the rafters, and hopefully him and a healthy Wheezy lead us to a national championship. Bring it home to the city, black and gold. Oh, that's it. I mean, that was it. Can the Hawks? The Big Ten tournament is great, right? But what are we going to be able to do in the big dance when the lights come on in Indianapolis? The whole tournament's in Indianapolis, right?
I think it's usually in Indianapolis. I don't know where it is this year.
I think they're doing the whole thing there, or at least they talked about it. I'm excited. That all starts. Selection Sunday is this upcoming Sunday once this podcast is released, and it's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be cool. Anything else for the washed up walk on listenership, Drake? Any wise words of wisdom? Nothing,
man.
All right.
Nothing today. I don't know.
Episode 190.
Mentally tough.
Yeah. Live life like Spencer Lee wrestles, and you'll do great. For those listening and that care, Monday's episode, March 15th episode, is going to be a best of episode. I'm gonna go in and pull the 10, not the 10, but 10 of the best moments from the first 200 episodes of the Washed Up Walk-Ons. And it's going to be a full episode of just absolute electricity, shenanigans, crying, laughing, all the best. And then hopefully we have another guest episode for next Thursday. Next week, I'm going on vacation. So Tech Guy needs to get all this shit done before next week. In fact,
where are you staying, bro?
I'm staying at a friend's. Lives in Arizona, and hopefully he doesn't kill me in my sleep. We'll see about that. That's it. 196. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Tell us all about that mashup episode on Monday. We want to hear about it, and post it everywhere so that more people listen to our podcast, so we make more money. Thanks. Bye.